Today only, I'm going to give you my absolute best method for putting fear in its place. Renew your faith. Hi, I'm Coach Bruce, and I'm a life coach for ADHD parents. And I know that sounds too simple to be true, but if you are tired of fear holding you back from achieving what you know is possible for you, the best answer I can give you is renew your faith. If you are believing that you can do more, but you're not getting it done, it's because your faith is not full. When your faith is full, you don't believe, you know. And when you know, even in the face of fear, you have to act. You have to do the thing that receives the accomplishment when you know to all certainty that your success is inevitable. That's hard to wrap your mind around. It has been a massive it has been a massive achievement for me to even get a modicum of understanding of what this means. So I'm scared all the time. There are so many things that I'm afraid to face, but faith has changed the way I show up in those moments. I no longer let fear stop me from doing what I know needs to be done because I know that God is calling me to do whatever it is. For example, I had to have a conversation with my wife this morning that I was terrified to have. I know that there are times whenever my wife and I are going to disagree. I'm not afraid to have a disagreement. I'm afraid to step into the role of leadership and be undermined because I've had so much trauma, so many times of being told I didn't know what I was talking about, or I wasn't right for the situation, or I didn't, I wasn't right for the leadership position. So stepping up as a leader in my home, as a spiritual leader in my family, is terrifying. But this morning, I had a knowing in my heart that something that we had committed to was not right. I needed to step up and have a conversation and tell my wife that our schedule is not the same as God's. In my prayer stack this morning, the message was so clear: be still. I was like, I don't know what that means. So I did further prayer, and the energy that filled me was so powerful, and it was so clear that it came to my mind: be still. It is not time for you to leave this place yet. And my wife is ready to get out of my aunt-in-law's house. Me too, but I knew that it's not time yet. The message was so clear, and she had committed to us leaving on Sunday. I had to have this conversation, and this might not sound like a big deal, but I have had this conversation in the wrong way so many times. I've let fear and anxiety and laziness control why I have conversations, and this and whenever you do that, your success ratio is super low. But whenever you let the knowing that you are being called to something guide you, when you let prayer and faith be your leadership, things turn out differently. But knowing that is hard to put into action until you put it into action. So that's all I could do. I knew I had to have the conversation. I knew God was calling me to do this. I just had to do it. And acting in that moment of fear, putting fear in its place, not as disappearing, but in its place out of the way, because you can be scared as much as you need to be, but you cannot let it be an obstacle to doing what you know needs to be done. And so I put it out of the way. It still existed, but I had this conversation. And in having the conversation, my faith was renewed because not only did she accept what I was offering, she was glad that I took leadership of it and said, "You're right. This is a much better idea." And that is not something that happens whenever you are trying to lead from laziness. You are trying to lead from fear. You are trying to lead from selfishness. When you lead from your heart and from God's guidance, then your spouse, your family will follow because they're not just following you, they are following God's vision for you. And it's so much bigger than just you as a person. So that is my secret method. Renew your faith. Let yourself be filled with God's glory, and know that you were chosen. Know that you're, I mean, and if you're not in line with your truth, if you're telling lies, you're not going to feel it. You're not going to know what you're supposed to do next, because the first thing you need to do is get your shit straight. Tell the truth. Like, you cannot feel God's guidance through a story of lies. I've been a liar my entire life. And as soon as I started telling the truth, I felt God's guidance in my life. I felt his grace fall over me. It was always there. But as long as you are lying, it will be an obstacle to you feeling God's guidance in your life. So I encourage you to start telling the truth today. Whatever you're suppressing, whatever you're facing in silence, start speaking about it, because you cannot find solutions in the dark. That's it for today. I encourage you to share in the comments with me, what is something that you are letting fear hold you back from doing right now? All right.